KCP's foul on Jason Tatum. What did you see on that play?
I didn't see the flagrant. I think the two guys were going for the block, and I think it was just, the fall was probably what set it off more than anything.
Can you say anything to KCP about that play? Or
No,
is it the physicality of the playoffs?
it's playoff basketball, and I don't think that warranted what it was. I think the fall is probably what more so drew the attention to it possibly being a flagrant more than anything.
Tatum is doubtful tonight. How would that change things if he can't go?
I mean, it changes a ton, but again, the next report will come out probably after this shoot around, so we'll know more as this goes on towards the game.
You guys obviously have a reputation of being physical, embracing that kind of game. Just, do you think that there's maybe some aspect of maybe teams not being recognized or familiar with that at this point in the year, maybe just seeing that for the first time?
That could be some of it. And I understand, and there's a reason why we are where we are defensively, because we want to make sure that we're being physical, disrupting, but doing it the right way, doing it without foul. And it's playoff basketball, and I think that's what we continue to understand in these moments. It ramps up a little bit, and that's what we understand, and that's what we embrace.
You guys obviously had some time to prepare for Boston for Game 1, get a couple days before Game 2. What maybe changed, or how much does having that extra time to prepare help you? Obviously they get it too, but how much does that help you prepare for a big game tonight?
Just a little bit of rest, understanding, getting our bodies taken care of more than anything, and then the second side, focusing in on the details of the things that we'll need to do and execute down the stretch, the things that we need to clean up from Game 1, moving on into Game 2.
How valuable was the film from Game 1, and what are specifically the things you're looking to correct?
Very valuable. I wouldn't give you all the things that we're looking to correct because that kind of gives into the game plan. But obviously the threes that they got up that were uncontested. I think those are some big portions of it. The rebounding situation that we'll have to make sure we stay on the glass, but also keep them off the glass. Those are just some minor pieces that we'll have to continue to adjust.
I mean, if Tatum doesn't play, obviously that changes things. But can you talk about the challenges all the other guys present?
I think our guys for the most part did a very good job on Jason and Jalen, and it was Derek White, it was Pritchard. Those guys coming in and having big nights, 49 between the two of them. Just being aware they are on the floor, what they're capable of doing, but understanding how they're getting their shots. And I think that's part of the personnel, but also understanding exactly where they are on the floor.
Confidence level of the team after 2 days of practice?
Our guys are very confident, understanding what they know they do, what they know they're capable of doing. What we did in Game 1, from being 12 down to get it back to even and then taking the lead at halftime. So they're aware of what they can do. It's just doing that consistently and valuing the possessions.
Boston's defense obviously had to be saying, but how do you get the ball moving a little bit more? Is that something you impress on Powell and Franz to look for teammates a bit more instead of driving into the defense so much, or how do you kind of make sure that the ball spreads around and has the energy that you guys need?
Well, just one thing is our ability to play faster. I mean, if we can flatten the defense out first, then now you're playing against closeouts more than anything versus playing against a set, very good defense. So you got to make sure you're getting down the floor quick, sharing it, getting to the second side of the floor, and quick decisions. This is a team that they switch, they change up defenses. That coach Joe does a great job of making sure that he keeps you off balance. So I think their ability to recognize that early and then make the quick decisions when that ball is in your hands. Thank you. Appreciate it.
To me, I mean, he went for the ball, missed the ball. Jason was pretty, high up, got his arm. He didn't come across his face or anything. He didn't do extra. I don't think he did anything extra. So, but that's in the past. I mean, we're not worried about that. We're moving on to this game, focus on the night.
Do you think there's an element of maybe some teams or some people just seeing the physicality that you guys play with nightly for the first time, with it being the playoffs? For that?
I'm watching all the games. I think all the games are pretty physical. I don't think ours was any different last time, and I don't expect it to be any different. So nobody's out there trying to obviously hurt anybody. Nobody wants anybody to be, hurt. We're just all playing hard physical basketball. So.
What were some of the things that you guys looked over from Game 1 that you want to fix going into Game 2?
Obviously, I think we got to put more points on the board today. So went over some offensive stuff that we feel like we could do better at. And then defensively, just keep doing what we're doing. They're a team that averages a lot of points. Held them to 103 last game. They're a team that I think averages 120, but we could be even better. But I think, if we take care of our turnovers, for instance, that's something that we could be better at offensively that kind of transitions to the defensive end.
What are some of the things that you can take from that second quarter that you can replicate, for all 4 quarters tonight?
Just playing free, playing aggressive, having that mindset we're going to take it to them every possession.
You guys were good taking away the 3 from the other team all year. Obviously, Boston takes a lot of threes. What are the keys to kind of limit them?
Well, we know they have a lot of good three-point shooters. We just try to get them inside the 3 as much as possible.
A little bit about, you already knew what you're getting yourself into going into the playoffs, but how much more prepared were you this time around, and what did you learn from last season that you wanted to take into this playoff this time around?
Yeah, just understanding the physicality and intensity of the game, and game planning from teams, and have to prepare for that. Some of the stuff that works during the regular season won't work in the playoffs, so prepare yourself for that physically and mentally.
And now that you've gone through game 1, as you're seeing what's going on, what are some of the things that you really want to see the adjustments, and what are some of the adjustments you guys want to see?
Yeah, I think in that third quarter we just got a little stagnant. So on offense, I think just moving bodies and moving the ball a little bit more, and then switching on defense. I thought we had a couple of breakdowns that led to some open threes for them. So I think if we can take those away, I think we'll have a good chance tonight.
If Jason Tatum leaves the team, the Celtics, and you're a coach of the game.
Yeah, obviously he's a great player. So, but I think our mentality, should stay the same. We got to be really aggressive, play really physical on defense, and I think even if he plays, if we do that, I think we have a good chance.
Boston's defense obviously has a big say in some of the offensive stagnation, but how do you kind of make sure that ball is moving, especially someone who has a lot of kind of decision-making power against this defense?
Yeah, I think being physical on offense, fighting for your spot, making sure that we can execute the right way. And then everybody just, knowing what the game plan is, what we want to do when, when they do get in there switching defense and when it gets a little stagnant.
Is a big part of the battle when you're going up against a team like Boston, just kind of rolling with those punches and not letting those waves kind of hit you hard or last so long?
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to be aware that they will go on runs, but obviously you want to limit as many mistakes as you can, and take most of those easy opportunities away.
How much do you put on your shoulders when the offense gets stagnant like that?
A lot. I think I do have a lot of responsibility for the team, and I think all 5 when we're out there. It's a team sport, so I think it's on all of us to do a better job. And obviously, me and Paolo, we do know that we have the ball a lot in those situations, so it's on us to make sure that we get organized.
What's it guarded in the playoffs? Did it feel different than the regular season?
Yeah, I think playoffs are super different. Just different environment. Obviously, the fans are super into it, and it's super fun.
What adjustments do you guys have to make, in the third quarter coming out of halftime?
Yeah, like I said, I think offensively, moving the ball a little bit better, and being ready for them upping the physicality as well.
From the second quarter of game 1, what can you take from that and kind of replicate in all 4 quarters?
Yeah, I think we saw that when we followed the game plan and play really aggressive, that that we have a good chance of winning the game. I thought in the second quarter, we moved the ball really well, took them out of most of their stuff, and took the easy ones away for them. And I think we got the lead at half, so we need that for 48 tonight.
Did you feel the effects of your switching defense on their offense in that quarter?
I think so. I think switching. I think we're a good rebounding team. Just overall physicality and activity, I think was pretty effective.
Right, the physicality of the series. Obviously, the play with Jason there, I wasn't happy about it. What was kind of going on in that moment? And obviously, you guys were going a little back and forth there. And what was your reaction to that play?
To the play where Tatum got fouled. Honestly, I thought he went, up for a dunk. 2 guys tried to contest it, and he happened to get hurt. Obviously, we don't want anyone getting hurt, but it's the playoffs. We're also not just going to let him dunk the ball.
And you guys, you play a physical style. What kind of is that line? Obviously, you want to play physical, but you don't want to see a guy get hurt like that.
Honestly, I thought we just went for the ball. Sometimes stuff's going to happen, but I didn't think any line was crossed, to be honest.